This is Yusef. Camera's finally working again. Last I checked, it's like 70 degrees outside, which for this time in March it's crazy. I mean, I'm very happy about it, but that's odd. We had a very gentle February, which usually the February's here are just crazy, which I've gone over. I think I'm going to devote a lot of this channel to cults, because I did a few videos on cults and I started, they pop up in the sidebar when you look at it, and I started going in and looking more to the cults, and it's very funny. The atheist 45H ER 3R 74 55 80, whatever the name is, said, so that's the only reason, that's the only difference is, you believe in it, you believe you're drinking the flesh of a 2,000-year-old God and this and that. And no, we don't believe we're eating the flesh of a 2,000-year-old God. We believe we're consuming the elements of the eternal God, mystically transformed. That's in the Eastern Orthodox Church. Yes, I'm saying that what distinguishes a religion from a cult is behavior. It's the behavior. The fact that you can't criticize the organization. Is there a Scientologist out there that's willing to say, and not free zone Scientology, but an actual church-going Scientology who's a member, who's willing to criticize elements of the church? I criticize elements of my church. I don't get thrown out. Do they tell you everything up front? Do they kidnap people? Do they use brainwashing and hypnosis? Those people who say, well, I could never be part of a cult, I'm too strong for that. Now you're susceptible. That's the only people. When going into anything, you ask like you're buying a car. You ask every detail of it. Okay, you try to get as much information as you can. You give as little information out as possible. There are cults that are non-religious. I just saw something on here that actually was, it's called Chung Mu Kwan in the Chicagoland area, Bloomingdale, Glendale Heights, Rosemont, where are the other places? Just all over Chicagoland area, and it turned itself into a cult. Many yoga centers. Solar Temple, people thought they were joining an organic farm and a co-op. There's business cults, and it's the behavior. That's the difference. We're using the word cult. In modern day English, it's behavioral and practices of these groups. It's not what they believe. It's the behavior. It's the deception. It's the implementation. What hypnotic means, it's just because not everybody knows about the Eastern Orthodox Church, and certainly this person has no clue what the Eastern Orthodox Church is about, because they bring up these things where if you're Orthodox, you're like, what? It just doesn't make sense. Well, this one person who was Orthodox, who's not a saint, who's not considered Orthodox, did all this, like blaming the Orthodox Church for Benny Hinn. That's like blaming the Antiochian Church for Benny Hinn, claiming he's Antiochian Orthodox. No, he's not anymore. He was born that, but no longer. Yeah, it's pretty absurd. The Roman Catholic Church, do they use hypnosis, brainwashing? Do they not tell you everything up front? I mean, you can go to the store and buy a Roman Catholic catechism. I object to their idea of original sin and their view on the blood atonement. What they got from Anselm is some ransoming from God, which Calvin jumped off of. Do they kidnap children? Do they do all these things? Now, there was a group up in Canada 20 years ago called the Grey Sisters or something like that. They were part of the Roman Catholic Church, and they did very abusive stuff. That's not that they got strictly punished for that. They're not. That's not the prime practice. It's just like the American soldier that cracked under pressure and went and supposedly killed 16 civilians. I don't know the details. I'm not going to judge the person. It's the American Army's fault because he had something wrong with them due to the war. They should have not let him go into combat. I actually know many people like this. Some out, some in, and it's scary. But is that the prime motive of the American government to slaughter innocent women and children? See, oh look, this is typical behavior. No, it's atypical behavior of what the group is. Now, the group like the Moonies or the Scientologists, it would be atypical for them. In fact, they'd get kicked out. They'd be labeled as suppressive person if they were to tell you what OT3 was. That's also called the firewall, and it describes Incident 2, what they call of Xenu with the Intergalactic Confederation, and him dropping all the alien souls onto the planet Tigiak, which is actually Earth, and all this kind of stuff. So, again, I don't want to give credibility to this person because there's been multiple people on here that said I'm not going to argue with this person. But I think it's a great point that you have somebody, and it kind of does damage to the groups of atheism on here, because it's actually become a movement on, at least on YouTube, where there's kind of a group of people, and there are people who are atheists who are not a part of this, like Alicia's Asylum, who actually stood up against Bill Maher. She said, "You're fucking crazy." No, you're not. You're not answering any of their questions. They're meaning Mind Gambler. You're just attacking them. You're not dealing with anything they're talking about. You're just trying to slander and use hatred and stuff, which he was. Got called out for it. And then she was called a theist for that, because she went against another atheist, which, again, basing something on a negative, I don't see. It's just like let me think of something. I don't like cats. I'd rather have a dog than a cat. If somebody else agrees with me on that, there's a bunch of us. Somebody who doesn't agree with doesn't like cats, gets in an argument with cats and dogs and starts saying, well, dogs are the source of all evil and blah blah blah, and anybody who owns a dog is a rapist, and I say, no, you're not, and no, that's not true at all. Or anybody who owns a cat's a pedophile or something. I say that's not true, and they're like, you have cats, you own. I mean, it's crazy. It's weird trying to base something around a negative. But this person, this 45RH, kind of shows that there are people out there willing to proselytize atheism, just proselytize atheism, and they can't follow an argument in line. They can't go after. They can't just deal with an argument. They have to just keep getting off topic and keep trying to attack this way and that way. So I'm going to go through the various cults on here, but I will answer the question. I know I got like 5 things I have to do, but I've been, as you can tell, I've been crazy busy these last 3-4 days. But I'm going to go through the different cults, what makes them a cult, and their horrible behavior, and that there should be restrictions in America, like there is in Germany, like there is in most places, because America is extremely secular. It's probably the most secular country on earth. The way its laws are set up, that you can basically, if you want to be a religion, go be a religion. It's fine. In Germany, they actually make you sign stuff saying, I've never read anything by L. Ron Hubbard, and if you say you have read something by L. Ron Hubbard, you can't get a government job. Can't have even seen this stuff, which I understand why they do that, given their past, given their recent past. I mean, less than 100 years ago, you had someone like Adolf Hitler, and I think his name is John Lifton. It's either Lifton or Lipton. He was actually researching Maoism, how people could fall into this thing, the trap of Mao and all these communist things, and he had these, I think they're different points of them. I think there's 7 points, 7 being a very funny number. And then people said, well, it's the same thing as like the cults, like the Moonies, Children of God, also known as the Family, Scientology, all these, different groups. And so he started doing things on cults, and the term cult in the English American language is very specific. Now there's ancient terms of cult that we have, like cult to the Virgin, which just means devotion to Theotokos, or the cult of the martyrs, which just means devotion to the martyrs. Cult of the saints, asking for intercessions of the saints. This is not the same. It's not the same usage of the word. It's like orange and orange, color and a fruit, two different things. Now an orange can be orange, it can be green, it can be yellow, it can be red, but again, it's differentiation of the term. So if people say all religions are cults, in the old 100 year ago version of the word, yes, that's true. In many countries, instead of calling it a cult, to call it a sect, and that'll be a bad word. When in America, if you say, "Oh, that's a different sect," it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, whatever. The Dominicans are a different sect than the Franciscans in the Roman Catholic Church. But I think I should go through that and illustrate that, and I will get to your questions. And again, somebody actually did this, which I'm very happy about. If I didn't make a video on something or didn't answer a question, please message me it again. The person that sent me that PM, thank you very much, and I will get to that. Peace to you. God save Serbia. Have a blessed Lent. And please pray for the Syrian Christians, and just all of the Syrian people who are suffering. This civil war that is going on in Syria it's mujahideen. It's not just peaceful, democratic people trying to stand up for their rights. No, John McCain is an ass clown for asking for airstrikes against Bashar al-Assad. Many people fighting on Bashar al-Assad's side are Christians because they know exactly what's going to happen to them if an Islamic State comes there. Peace, and may God save Serbia. Every Orthodox Christian, remember Serbia and please pray for him. Please remember Syria in your prayers as well. All the people suffering anywhere, which I'm sure many of you do. Okay, have a blessed Lent. I criticize elements of my church. I don't get thrown out. Do they tell you everything up front? Do they kidnap people? Do they use brainwashing and hypnosis? Those people who say, well, I could never be part of a cult, I'm too strong for that. Now you're susceptible. That's the only notes of cults. Because I did a few videos on cults, and I started, they pop up in the sidebar when you look at it, and I started going in and looking more to the cults, and it's very funny. The atheist 45H ER 3R 74 55 80, whatever the name is, said, so yes, I'm saying that what distinguishes a religion from a cult is behavior. It's the behavior. The fact that you can't criticize the organization. Is there a Scientologist out there that's willing to say, and not free zone Scientology, but an actual church-going Scientology who's a member, who's willing to criticize elements of the church? This is Yusef. Camera's finally working again. Last I checked, it's like 70 degrees outside, which for this time in March it's crazy. I mean, I'm very happy about it, but that's odd. We had a very gentle February, which usually the February's here are just crazy, which I've gone over. I think I'm going to devote a lot of this channel. That's the only reason, that's the only difference is you know, you believe you're drinking the flesh of a 2,000-year-old God and this and that. And no, we don't believe we're eating the flesh of a 2,000-year-old God. We believe we're consuming the elements of the eternal God, mystically transformed. That's in the Eastern Orthodox Church.